Israel and Iran have traded more missile attacks despite international calls for a halt to the fighting, with neither country showing signs of backing down as the conflict between the foes raged on for a third day. Iran said on Sunday that Israel struck its oil refineries, killed the intelligence chief of its paramilitary Revolutionary Guard and two other generals, and hit population centers in intensive aerial attacks that raised the death toll in the country since Israel launched its major campaign on Friday to 224 people. Israel said that Iran has fired over 270 missiles since Friday, wreaking havoc on residential suburbs and killing 14 people. Our correspondent Adam Zivo has more from Tel Aviv.
Early Friday morning at 3 a.m., Israel launched a preemptive strike against Iran with the intent of neutralizing Tehran's nuclear weapons program. Israelis throughout the country were simultaneously awoken by emergency alerts advising them to take cover in their nearest bomb shelter. Since then, Iran has repeatedly pounded Israeli cities with ballistic missiles, the vast majority of which have been intercepted by the Iron Dome defense system. Although dozens of Israelis have been injured by these attacks and some killed, the public mood remains calm. The day after several missiles landed in Tel Aviv, the city's beaches were filled with civilians swimming, playing volleyball, and gossiping with friends. Although most stores are now closed and public gatherings have been banned, Israelis have found a way to continue living their lives. For them, there is no other choice. To live happily is, for some, an act of resistance. I interviewed one Israeli woman in my building's bomb shelter on the night of Israel's first strike against Iran, and then spoke with several locals and visitors on Saturday afternoon. Here's what they had to say.
It's a reality that I think Israelis are used to. It's not the first time and unfortunately not the last time that it's happening. Like in my building, for example, the more that I go, the more the neighbors become friends and we're like friends with each other's dogs and stuff like that. But of course, sometimes it happens when you're in the middle of the street and you just need to run. And then people are just asking each other like, what's going on in the news? Did it fall somewhere? Where else was it? And stuff like that. You know? Unfortunately, since it has become our reality, we're used to it. So like tomorrow, if the army tells us everything is okay, there's no alerts that we can predict right now. We live life normally. Everything opens normally. You know, people go have their social life, go to work, and so on.
Every time it's happened, it's you woke up and it need to run, and your heart is it's like bumping. I was scared, but I'm getting every time it's happened. I'm just need to understand that this is the life that happened, and this is what we need to know and we need to understand, that we chose to live in Israel, and this is our nation. Unfortunately, I'm saying this, but this is the life that happened to us.
My whole family, we were sleeping 9 people in a 2-bedroom apartment last night. It was my whole family and then 2 friends. And we got another alert. We went down to -3 underground. And then a group of maybe 6 or 7 people came down. They hadn't made Kiddush yet. They had their Kiddush cup. They made Kiddush down there with us. I don't know, that kind of blew my mind. I had to take a picture of it. It was like kind of a beautiful Jewish moment, just with some people that I didn't know. But we were all together, going through the same terrible thing, but having a beautiful moment.
The first alarm woke me up because it was different from the other alarms, not last night, the night before. I hung out with my neighbors and we just waited for them to attack and so we could run to the shelter. And we don't have a shelter, so we ran like 2 minutes away. And then we went home and did it again, and did it again, and did it again. That was it.
In between sets of missiles, you'd see people walking on the street smiling, calling their loved ones. If you look around, there's people playing volleyball, they're juggling the soccer ball, everyone's with their loved ones. I think, everyone's kind of just doing their thing, moving on day to day, as it usually would. It's surprising, but it's like, it's probably the best thing I could see right now. I've kind of been inside most of today, and we just got out here, and it's kind of heartwarming, and it brings some hope to kind of a dark time. It's just good to see everyone still doing their thing.
From a view of 25 years old, and look at the beach, look at all the people that happy. It's a circle of the life. We can't live in a sadness, and to understand that it's problem if we get every war and get sad and don't go to work and don't go to party and don't continue the life, because we only live once, and we need to to get our head up every war, and you know, to show all the Middle East that we are still here and we're gonna be here, and smile. This is what we have.
This is the normal, right? It's about just continuing our life not in fear, because that's what they want. They want us to live in fear. They want you to live in fear. I mean, if you live in fear and you don't do your daily activities, your daily life, you're giving them what they want. What are you gonna do? The world stops for you to possibly die, for you to possibly lose people, for you to possibly, you know, have to run to a shelter. What's the point in living then? I live here and I made the choice to live here and I want to live here. So living here is being a part of running to the shelter when you need to.
Everyone's texting me, like, kind of freaking out, like, are you okay, are you okay? I feel totally, like, fine. You know, I'm chilling, I'm in the bomb shelter, I'm in a Ramad or I'm underground, and we're just kind of, you know, you wait your 10 minutes or you wait for your all clear and you go back up. I feel like they think I'm standing on top of a high rise getting bombed. It's really not, it doesn't feel as scary as maybe it actually is, but, you know, I'm getting a lot of support from back home and they're all a lot more nervous than I am.
Although war is an unpleasant experience, people have a remarkable capacity to adjust to their surroundings. For better and worse, Israelis have become desensitized to the violence around them and thus remain stoic despite Iran's barrage of attacks. While the world watches in shock, people in this country go to the beach and decompress, waiting for whatever might happen next. Once again, this is Adam Zivo with the News Forum, reporting from Tel Aviv.